You played in bands back in the day when I played in bands.
Yes.
So today we watched these guys, True Perfume, and it struck me that I hadn't seen the same kind of like energy and like. Are you gonna be around in like a few minutes? I'll interview you. Yeah, come back. Come back. Yeah, come back. So like it strikes me that like I hadn't seen that same kind of energy in a long time, and I think you had mentioned to me that these guys were older guys. But my question is, why don't kids invest the same amount of energy that we used to invest? Like why is it so fucking dull now to see a show?
I don't know the answer to that. That is so awkward, and I don't want to feel old and say, kids today just don't have what we had. I mean...
But it's true though, right?
But it was the 90s. We had nothing to care about. It was good times. There was jobs. And yet the energy was just over the top.
But now they should be angry. Now they have something to be angry about.
They don't. Now
Why
they should
not?
be angry, and they just don't care, and they just noodle and stand there, and it's like...
Why is that?
I detest the bands of today. I detest them. They have no raw power. And unfortunately, it's why I've turned to metal these days, because the metal bands are the only bands where I can go, thank you for having some energy. But I would love to listen to other bands, but I can't because they don't do it. True Perfume, the band itself, they kind of kick back there. But Jamie as a front man, he's very theatrical, and he just lets go and forgets who he is, and that's healthy. I mean, I think that's really healthy. I don't know why they don't get upset. They're not going to find jobs.
Right. You see bands a lot more often than I do. I don't go out very often. I stay home. When's the last time you saw a band that made you feel like that?
Well, I've seen some metal bands that have that kind of drive and that kind of power, that just tear it up and they just fly off the stage and it's just out of control. But I rarely see that in a rock band these days. I rarely see that, which is a pity.
Yeah.
But that kind of energy, that kind of just let go. I feel there's a certain amount of like concern for how they look, how they present themselves, and they kind of get taken back.
Yeah.
They're not willing to like, they're not willing to rip off their shirt and bang the mic on their head or do kind of stupid stuff. You people laugh. But that's rock and roll. That's what it is.
Yeah,
people are not willing to die for rock and roll.
Yeah, this was my first time seeing them, and I just felt really old. I felt like just like saying to kids, like, this is what rock and roll used to be.
I know. I totally understand that. And it's like I just choose not to see bands like that. Detroit band Terrible Twos, really good energy, very good energy. Nice band, good band. There are bands out there, but they are not as many as they used to. And I actually know local people, you know who you are, who were in really good, energetic punk bands that would just destroy basements and Ipsies 2 years ago. And then I run into them at Woodruff's, and then they walk up to me and they're playing, and they go, I'm playing pussy music now. And I look at the guy and go, yeah, but you have a girlfriend now. And he's like, that's true. And I'm like, see? It's just, I don't know what it is. It's what's happening. It's what they're liking. There will be a relash. There will be a band back, but
I don't know if it'll happen. I mean, I keep expecting it to happen, but I don't know if it'll actually happen.
The hard part is I've been through so many amazing musical scenes where I've seen things that have changed the world of music. I mean, I've seen bands and been a part of scenes that nobody realized was going to change the world of music. And this happens, and then 10, 15 years later, it happens again. And you don't know where it's going to happen. It'll happen in Flint, it'll happen in Detroit. And the sad thing is I don't know if I can wait out the next one and not be like in my 50s and be like, finally! And they're going to be like, oh, really? You're here? But I'm hoping it will happen again soon. I'm hoping it will kick into gear. Because kids rebel. And somebody's going to rebel against the crap that's happening now. But this crap is rebelling against what was happening right before. And, it's always a rebellion. And Billy Childish said it best, punk rock is a crab, it crawls sideways, it never grows, it gets bigger. Punk bands never get big. Once they get big, they're done. They crawl sideways like a crab. And I don't know how many times we've been at shows and we went, this scene's over, we need to find a new one. And here we are in like Mexican town in Detroit, and they're moving the tables aside for a band to play, and the band's playing, and we're going, this is it, it's right here. And we didn't realize it. You know, this might have been going for a year, and we're now just discovering it.
Right.
So it happens.
You mentioned the Terrible Twos. Is there anybody else around that you think, like nowadays, that has like the same kind of energy or the same kind of focus that that you would expect to see from from an environment like the one we're in now? I mean, like we're in an environment now where, I mean, things politically like suck.
Yeah.
Like for young kids coming up today, I would be pissed the fuck off. Like I've got a job, I'm alright.
Yeah.
But like where are the angry fucking kids? Like, do you see them anywhere?
We are unfortunately one of the last generations that's going to be falling into the kind of work we can fall into. I mean, this is it.
Yeah.
It's scary that it's essentially they're going to be fighting over service jobs.
Do they
insane.
not realize that, or why aren't we seeing the anger on their part?
I think they're cocky. I think they just don't understand it. I think they haven't grasped it. I mean, we grew up in a place where you can work at a coffee shop and pay rent.
Yeah.
You know, and that was acceptable. That's gone. I mean, you're not going to be able to work at a coffee shop and pay rent anymore, and you're not going to be able to like fall into work like we've fallen into work in the past.
Right.
I don't know. I just don't. I'm in denial. And maybe just, who knows? You'll have to talk to them.
Yeah.
Interviewing one of them.
I'll interview one of them next.
Yes, I noticed that.
So anything else you want to say?
Not really. No.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Randy.
Yeah. Hey, no problem.